Welcome back to another Sker ritual. Today we've got the brand new free DLC House of the Damned. This is the Easter egg and the hidden Easter egg walkthrough. So let's get into it. I start off out, guys. You are armed with your pistol as per usual, and the first thing you need to do is leave the house. Now wait just a few seconds and then go forward up the stairs, open the door, try and leave the house, and then you can instantly interact with the red cylinder next to you to try and get the gas and electricity on. Once that's been activated, you now need to fill up with demon hag gas up to 100%, so that takes 4 lots, each one being 25%. From this point, if you go around the map and look for the crosses on the walls, this will help you with the next step, and melee them to expose them. This will help you going forward, so you don't have to spend your time looking for the correct valves in just a second. By the time you've done this, a demon hag should spawn in on the first round, so make sure you're in that circle where you need to be for it to fill the gas in the tube. Kill the demon and you're 25% of the way there. Keep on progressing through the rounds until you fill it up to 100%. And your next mission is to find those gas valves. There'll be 5 of them in total. Now by now you should have exposed them, but here's a list of where they all are. You shouldn't have to open any more doors to get to all of them. Jamie, please insert the crosses valve location. Okay, for the X marks the spots locations, you have one straight behind you where you're doing the first objective of the circle, in the kitchen area. The dining room. Go down the hallway, you've got one on the left hand side in that corridor. You've got one just to the left in the supercharger room. Turn around, you've got one on your right hand wall there before the shock and load perk. You've got one in the painting room. Those are all downstairs locations. Go upstairs from that painting room, you've got one straight ahead of you. Turn around and start following the corridor around. You'll have one on the left hand side near the bathtub. Keep going around, you'll see one of the other stairs. Go opposite the life point perk and you'll get the other valve there. And finally, go down the corridor with the pig on it, go past the pistolet, past the piano music room, and it's in the bedroom on the wall there. And those are all the upstairs locations. You'll be prompted to interact with each valve as you run past it, so as long as you've exposed those walls beforehand, you can just run straight up to it, interact with it, and you'll turn those gas valves. Now once you've got all 5 done, you have to equalize the gas pressure. Now to do this, you head downstairs to the basement and there'll be a number on the wall. I believe it can either be 73, 108, 115 or 150. Now there are 3 valves around the map to make that combination. All you have to do is look for what number is on that valve and add it up to that combination. So the bottom valve is 73, the middle valve in the kitchen is 35. Do it quite quickly, there is a timer, and that should go on to the next step, which is to restore the electricity. Once you do click that switch, it will give you a 3-digit code. There are red boxes all around the map with a number on each one. All these red boxes on the wall. In the music room, you have number 4. You've got a second one upstairs in the master bedroom that's number 3. Heading downstairs in the picture room, the living room, you've got number 2. On the wall next to this supercharged room is number 6. In the supercharged room is number 1, which leaves the last one downstairs in the basement at the back, number 5. Once you do that, go back down and restore the power where you'd have a small little lockdown step. Luckily for this one, you don't have to kill any enemies for this one. It will just power it by itself to 100%. Once it's powered up to 100%, it will ask you to open the furnace, interact with the furnace, and then you have to go and grab the code. You're supposed to get the code. In the basement, there is a little hallway from where you first start off. Go on the hallway and interact with the button at the bottom. You'll then see a purple glow somewhere downstairs. Go to it and find the code. Pretty straightforward. Remember the code and input that into the furnace itself. Once you have the furnace open, it will ask you to fuel the fire by getting the intestines of your enemies. Oh joy. So, kill the enemies, grab their intestines, 5 of them are needed. There's only 5 needed, so it's pretty straightforward. 5 intestines, fill it up, and you should be good to go. Once you've fueled up the fire, it'll then ask you to find the ritual site in the house grounds. Now one of the cage doors is now opened up next to the supercharger room, the bathroom. You can go on through there and find the ritual site. Once you interact with the ritual site, it will ask you to acquire the items you need to finish the ritual. Now here's the order I suggest you do it in. First one, go back towards the house but head on right over the small bridge and pick up the cross on the well. Once you pick up the cross on the well, place it on one of the graves. That'll be easily marked. Once you place it on the grave, it'll ask you to destroy the urns protecting the grave. Now they are very, very close by. If you turn just direct to your left, in front of the grave itself, there should be an urn there. If you look behind you, there'll be an urn on the debris next to the hole in the wall. Then, just to the right of the hole in the wall, there'll be an urn next to the tree. And finally, if you keep on going around that way, on the porch, next to the back door, there's an urn there. Now, these urns will light up. Once they're red and glowing, you can shoot them and destroy them. They will move around, so what I suggest is the first three, you stay near those, take down each one in turn, and then go get the back porch one as well. Now, once you've done that, the grave will open up, revealing some dynamite. Take a stick of dynamite, and go back over to that well where you got the cross first of all. Place it on the well, and it will explode, and then down you go. Before you head down there, guys, I suggest you have at least 2,500 points. The reason for this is you do have to buy the corpse grinder while you're down there, and you want to open up the door so you can get it quickly in case you're overrun with enemies. So once you have the corpse grinder, you're going to leave the basement, and then you're going to have to go and get the hearts of the suns around the map. Now there is a fair few in the map itself. Obviously each one is highlighted which one you need to go and get. But there is the hanging sun in the supercharger room. There is a sun sat down next to the family portrait on the ground floor. There's a sun in the basement where you start off on the table. There's a sun upstairs in the bathtub, upstairs in the bedroom, and there's one in the room with the red power box and the ammo machine led down too. Now all you have to do is fire the corpse grinder at the bodies and then interact to pick up the hearts. Once you have all three hearts, go back to the ritual site and place the hearts down. That's your first step done. The second one I'm going to suggest you want to do is go to the family painting and interact with it. This will summon the trio of Abraham, Isaac, and the stranger. Abraham should come out first. They're all pretty simple to take down, especially if you supercharge your pistol stamp SMG. Once you take them all out, go back to the painting, interact, place down each piece of the painting you got from defeating the trio, and then you'll have to spill blood at that site. You'll have a small area. Don't worry, you don't have the enemies to be in that area. You just have to kill them up to 100% spill blood, I guess. Once you do that, take that painting and put it at the ritual site. For the final part of the ritual, you will have to go to the mausoleum. So, when you came out of the house with the broken wall, go straight up past the graveyard and open up the mausoleum doors. You can then interact and grab the mother's head. Once you have the mother's head, the next step is to search the mother's head for the secret chamber. To do this, you head downstairs to the basement and go down the little alleyway. You'll see the walls light up. Follow the walls along until you reach the middle with a door and a Grim Reaper image. Interact with that, and the next step will say, only in death will you find the way. At this point, you can now get downed by an enemy. You can finally see the secret door. Go in there in the afterlife, if you will, and interact with the Book of the Dead. Don't worry. Once you interact with Book of the Dead, you will regain your life point back. You won't lose when you're down to life points, as you can still carry on with that one. It will then ask you to find the symbols needed around the map to carry on. There's 3 symbols. I have not found that they have moved positions, so the easiest way to get all 3 are in the basement next to the furnace, just to the left, upstairs through the double doors to the right of the life point perk machine, and finally directly to the left of the purple perk near the family portrait. Once you click on all 3 of those, it will ask you to go and collect the Book of the Dead. Go back down to the secret room and collect the Book of the Dead. Now the seals have been lifted. Now you have the Book of the Dead. Return to the ritual site, and now you'll have to escort the father. Now the father will go around the map and stop for you to spill blood in certain locations. So have the head of the mother out and escort the father. Now you can stay a little bit ahead of the father because he is kind of slow. You can stay, like I said, a little bit ahead of him if you need to. He'll stop outside the mausoleum. He will then stop in the supercharger room. He will then go upstairs next to the pig on the table. He will then go downstairs into the basement, in where we found the first purple code for the furnace. And finally, you lead him back to the ritual site. Once you do that, you will then open up the boss door. I would suggest you probably want to have your fast hands perk on, maybe the stallion juice if you can. Extra life is always good too. You're going to want to have your corpse grinder leveled up to a minimum of tier 1, only because it does a ton of damage to the boss himself. Stay as far back as possible. He does have a few projectiles and rather large chainsaws to keep clear of that one. Now once you defeat Mr. Cadwell, who looks rather dashing, you will be then asked, if you want to leave the map, and you've done it, you finished it. However, of course, there is of course the secret Easter egg. If you want to carry on, go back at the boss arena and interact with the green flame. Once you interact with this green flame, you will hear the little ding sound, so you know the next step has started. And it will spawn in lambs around the map, on the burning roof, in front of the boss arena door, or the ritual site, 2 on top of the mausoleum, 3 downstairs in the corpse grinder room, 4 in the bathroom where it first broke away, and 5 upstairs in the bedroom, guys, and in the trees just beyond the well marked here. Now once you've done all those interactions and shot those goats, by the way, you will hear the sound of the goats nearby, so listen out for that stranger sound. You'll know when you hear it. I'll play the sound now. Once you interact with them, you'll hear the completion sound noise, and the next step is to take the corpse grinder and go and shoot the pig that's on the table. Once you do that, you have a few moments to go and interact with the pig statue. Now there's 2 in the map. One is by the back door, here where one of the urns were, and the challenge difficulty setting. Once you interact that one, go back up to the pig again, shoot it again. The next pick button is down in the basement. You can't miss it near where you started. Interact with the pig button. Finally, go back to the pig, shoot, and this time you'll be able to interact with the pig, and it'll give you the completion noise. Now you have that completion noise, it's time to find out what the hidden code is. In the mausoleum room, where the mother's head was, there are 3 statues of a pig, a dog, and a lamb. If you go down to the first ammo room you came across, where you had to fill up the demon gas, you hear a pig squeal. Now, this can be a number of pig squeals from 1 to 4. Listen out to how many there are in the audio sample, and remember the code. The second noise is in between the policeman's stand and the ritual site. And if you stand there, you will hear the lambs again between 1 and 4. And finally, as you head towards the mausoleum, which way you need to go anyway to input the code, you should hear dog barks again from 1 to 4. Note down how many you've got there and enter the code. Once you've done that, you'll be given the mother's head once again. Now you have the mother's head, you need to search for the seal. There's 3 locations the seal could be in. The first location is in the broken tree next to the ritual site. Interact with that and check for the seal. The second location is next to the kitchen on the floorboards. Interact with that and search for the seal. The third place you can find the seal is downstairs in the basement behind the steps. As you walk down it, you'll have a little landmark on it, and just investigate there. So if you find it in your first location, you don't need to go to the next 2. You just need to go put the seal in place. Now the seal goes in the corpse grinder room. You'll see a plaque at the back with the lamb's head on it. Place the seal in, and you'll be in some sort of little lockdown step. You're not actually forced to stay there, but you do need to get a certain amount of kills to complete that step. And once you do, you'll hear that completion noise. So make sure you don't have too many enemies around you. Make sure you don't get trapped in, and use those bombs if you need to. You'll then have to escort the goat to the ritual site. To find the goat, go down to the basement where you find the code for the furnace. Immediately as you go down the steps, turn right and look behind you and interact with the small door there. You should hear the goat there as well. The demon goat will then go up the stairs and go straight to the ritual site. It's a very short escort, so you shouldn't have much difficulty at all. Once you escort him there, the second boss fight will be underway. Once again, you want to make sure that corpse grinder is upgraded as much as you can, because obviously the boss is now a little bit more chunky, it's a little more difficult, but with that corpse grinder you should take him down pretty easy. Once you complete them, that's it. You can then leave the level and you have completed the hidden Easter egg on the free brand new map, House of the Damned. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next video.